referencing, thank you, referencing the handbook that, the workbook that's going through today, all the slides have a corresponding page because now I want you to be able to either start while I'm talking today or be able to soon hereafter come to this and begin filling this information because this is actually your roadmap. This is going to be your plan. This is going to be the thing you're going to begin using in marketing your business. I'm thankful for Big B for having this series of marketing because as we're talking about financial understanding and financial relationships with our business, we have to get money in the business, and marketing is the way to do that. So we're going to get started with this today. We're going to go through each one of them. Okay. Okay, I'm going to move me. I'm going to move the chat. And we're going to let her in. Doing all kind of things today. Great day to do all kind of things. Here we go. Okay. That pop up and here we go. Okay. So the sharing screen, everything's good. Okay, hope my internet connection is good. Looks like it is. So again, welcome. And today now we're talking about the specific marketing strategy. So this is where we're going to go through these different steps of understanding and creating your strategy that is going to draw upon the things that we've talked about in our previous three sessions. We're going to talk about the SWOT analysis, where we analyze strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We're going to look at competitor analysis, understanding what the competitors are doing so that we can operate better. Pulling back from the target market and persona exercise that we did in session 2. That this is where that comes into play. I put that early on because that ties in very well to the customer buying journey and the inbound marketing, but then the information is where it's pulled in here. Then after those 3 exercises, that's when we set the goals. And then from there, we want to be able to measure the goals, measure the success of our goals, and we do that through KPIs, key performance indicators. And then we're going to create a marketing budget that involves time and money. And then from there, we're going to talk about the tools that we're going to use to achieve the goals and to measure those KPIs. And then from there, we're going to go scheduling. And then lastly, we're scheduling. Then we're going to do the content calendar. And then we're going to look at analytics and metrics. So diving in, we start with a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's a method, and I love this method because actually you can use this method in all areas of your business, administrative, financial, marketing, operations, process, product development. Because what it is, it's a really easy way of taking a snapshot of where you are in relation to that area of your business. And so there's internal parts, which are the strengths and weaknesses. And then there's the external opportunities and threats. Those are outside of the business. And that helps this helps begin understanding what goals you want to achieve and what strategic goals that you want to engage in. So it's set up in a simple grid format, as you'll see in your workbook, simple squares. And I even included here where it reminds us that it's internal and these are external. And what I mean by that is, so internal is, I describe inside of the building, air quotes, not everybody has a brick and mortar, but it's internal stuff. It's strengths that are part of the success of your business. And then there's weaknesses. What are the challenges I have as far as the inside of my business? And then external, outside, what are the opportunities that are out there? What are the things that I could possibly do to improve revenue, improve sales, improve marketing, improve customer reach? All of those things we've talked about for these last 3 sessions. And then, of course, what threats are out there that could affect our business, could affect the way we run our business. So look at a couple of examples of those as it relates to marketing. So some strengths that you may have great product offerings, you may have great services, you may have a good pricing structure, you may have a good team. Another internal strength is you may be established. You have a good customer base. You have loyal current customers. You have a good Facebook following. You've got a good email marketing. You've got a good quantity of emails. All of those are things. You'll end up with hopefully a long list of strengths, but you want to know what those are because they're going to come in handy here shortly. And then the second, of course, is the opposite end of that stick. It's the same stick of the business. It's weaknesses. Well, maybe people don't know my brand enough. Maybe I'm not spending enough time on marketing. Maybe I'm not using social media. Maybe I haven't implemented a email marketing campaign. Maybe I have not scheduled, you know, maybe I'm short on team members. Maybe I'm short on resources. Maybe I'm short on funding. So again, strengths and weaknesses are the internal parts. And then we go to opportunities and threats, the things that are around us. What opportunities are out there? Well, I could probably network. I could go to networking events. I could probably tap into associations and event planners. I could start doing speaking events. I could start doing presentations. I could start doing free talks that let people know what it is that I do in my business, what it is I'm out to help and solve. We have libraries you can do that. You can church groups for faith-based individuals, a lot of those things. Another opportunity out exterior is to work with industry influencers, build partnerships, all of those type of things. Join a group, join things of that nature. But they're the external things that you feel that you could do to help improve your business. And then again, opposite end of the other stick is threats. So maybe you're in a highly competitive market. Maybe you're a business that relies on products and supply chain challenges can affect you. Just like recently we had the port protest, boycott, I forget what it was, but either way, it affected product delivery into the States. But if you're needing products, that could definitely affect your business. Maybe it's a tough job market. Maybe your type of business is one that is a luxury or a need kind of thing. So if money's tight or things are expensive, people may not spend as much money with you. And the important part of doing this and doing this exercise is you get a really great snapshot of where your business is now. You do it 3 months from now, it's going to change, obviously. Another possibility for you, if you have other people that are involved in your business or people that are kind of your confidants or your mentors, go through this exercise with them. It's great to have other people to help you see things that maybe you don't see. So once we've done the SWOT analysis, then we're going to think about our competitors. So knowing who our competitors are and what they offer, it can help us make our product, services, and marketing stand out. It enables you to set up your prices competitively, and it also helps you to respond to rival marketing campaigns with your own initiatives. I always recommend at least 3 competitors, thinking of who your 3 competitors are and using them. Some other advantages is by understanding what your competitors are doing, you have a competitive advantage over them because you're studying what they do. So if you're studying 3 competitors and you have your business, you have a marketplace that y'all are serving. So by studying what they're doing and how they're doing it, how you're doing it, you get a decent understanding of the specifics of the marketplace that y'all are serving. So you can also look at where your advantages may come into play on that. Next is by knowing competitors, you can target your efforts on those consumers. And that should increase your return on your marketing investment and increase your sales. So again, by looking at what your competitors are marketing and focusing on, either strengthens what you should be doing or letting you know what you're not doing. Another thing, by focusing on what's happening in competitors, it avoids you becoming a commodity. Because I was studying what happened with the market in the web design business many years ago, when I saw that people were beginning to build their own websites, I'm like, okay, they're going to not need you as much. You need to find other products and services to offer. And that's when we moved much more heavily into the marketing world. And also, by knowing what competitors are doing, you're able to design your communications plans to maximize those strengths. So going back to here, so the strengths, and what ends up happening is using the strengths and opportunities. These probably be your longer things. And so then you're going to match these up with what your competitors are doing. And by doing that, then you're able to actually make your communication and marketing plan to really focus on the advantages and strengths that you have. And again, right here, I just kept it very simple, basic questions. The name of the competitor, where they're located, what their website is, and what social media profiles they have. And then if you don't know much about them, you're going to learn now because you're going to go to their website, you're going to go to their social media, and you're going to study what they do. You're going to type in keywords and see where they come up on Google search results. But doing it, what do you know about them? What are their strengths? What do you see as something they do that is very strong? What are their weaknesses? What do you see that they don't do very well, that they could do better? What do you do better than they do? So again, it's kind of having as a judgment-free, detached observation of what your competitors are doing. And then, of course, making some notes about each one of them. So you're going to do that for about 3. You can do it more if you'd like. So now we're going to bring in the target market and persona exercise that we did. And just as a refresher, these are the individuals that we want to do business with or that we are doing business with already that we want to do more of. So if we have a good size clientele that's buying from us, we study who they are, what their likes are, what their interests are, what things are they interested in, what are their goals, because we want to get more people like that, people of that mindset. A second part of this is if there's let's say we want to move into maybe a customer base that spends more money, has more money to spend. Well, how do we begin attracting those individuals? First thing we're going to do is go study the brands and companies they buy from and study how their messaging is. What images do they use? What words do they use? How frequently do they post? What time do they post? So you can just look at a higher brand company, start studying what they do and the results they get, and then begin to mirror that in your own words, in your own company, in your own style. That would hopefully then begin attracting people that may spend more money with you. And remember, as we talked about, it can be very simple. The exercises I go through, I try to keep it simple, but then you can also get very complex with it. Again, I mean, I'm always talking about AI. You can allow some of this, you can allow AI to help build your personas using your information, your demographics, who does business with you. Ask it who your buyer personas are or who they should be if you're trying to reach a different market. So again, kind of going back to the worksheet on that, some basic information, age, income, gender, identification, family information. But the stuff that I really like to focus on in the simplicity of this is what are their wants and aspirations as it relates to the business or product that you're, product or service that you're offering. What do they really think and feel about it? Here's a very important part. Again, their fears and frustration, pains and urgencies. That's a lot to put in one box. But as it relates to what you're offering, what are their fears of your product or service? What frustrates them? What pains do they have? What urgencies do they have that your product or service can resolve? And then you go into what can you do for this customer? What can you do to alleviate those fears, frustrations, and pains in that type of work that you do? I think I mentioned before, early on when websites, people were confused by them, they didn't know what to do with them. So I knew that one of the fears and frustrations of business owners was they knew they needed one, they didn't know how to get one. So I focused on that. I focused on making it easy, simple, easy to follow, and easy to understand. So now that we've done 3 key components, the SWOT, looking at us as a business, our competitors, looking at what they're doing, and looking at our target markets, then we're able to move into the marketing goals. And I set that order up intentionally because I can't set goals if I haven't done that much research, both on my own business observation and research into the market. So a marketing goal is simply a specific and measurable objective that helps you meet your broader business goals. A strategy without clear goals is just essentially a waste of your time and money. So what do you want to focus on? Well, think about those strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and what you want to make better as it relates into the marketing world. It may be that you realize that people just don't know who you are. So your initial goal might be just to increase brand awareness. You may realize after some of the stuff we did that I'm not really trying to capture leads on my website. I might have a contact form, but I'm not trying to capture leads or email information or get people to give me their information so I can begin doing some, attracted marketing to them. I may just want new customers. And so that may be one of my goals, to get new customers. Another goal, maybe I just want to do business more with existing customers. I may want to increase my website traffic by a percentage amount, that I would like to get more website traffic, get more people coming to the website. Another marketing goal may be that I'm just trying to establish industry authority, that I'm just trying to put myself in a position of a person that knows these types of subjects as it relates to my business. I may want to increase customer value, the value of existing customers. Or if my brand is out there, maybe I want to reintroduce or engage or boost my brand engagement, telling more stories about who we are and what we do. Maybe after that exercise on the first Tuesday, you're like, wow, I do have a great story. And so I want to engage people with that. I want to begin to retell that story. Another marketing goal could be just increasing revenue. I want to make more money, and this is how I want to do it, and this is the way I'm going to do it. So with goals, before I get in here, remember that we want the goals to be, smart goals. We want a specific. We want a specific outcome. We want them measurable. We want to be able to quantify them. We want them to be attainable. In other words, we want to be able to do it. Realistic and timely. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, in a specific amount of time. So SMART goals. So here's a couple of examples of what good goals would be, or specific SMART goals. So I'd like to increase my website traffic by 20% in 3 months. Okay, seems reasonable, specific, and timely. Now, what we're going to do coming up in the following exercises are, how do we do that? What tactics do we do to do that? What specific actions are we going to take over those 3 months that will increase that website by 20% traffic? Another reasonable and good goal would be grow social media followers by 15% in 60 days. That seems reasonable, 15%, depending on where we are. I've got 60 days to do it. And then I'm going to come in shortly and talk about the tactics and process of being able to do that. Next, another good goal could be, or specific goal could be, generate 10 new customer reviews on Google in 30 days. Totally doable. Send 3 monthly newsletters for customer retention over the next quarter, 1 a month. Or I might just want to increase monthly sales leads by 10% in 6 months. So these are all specific, and you can see that they're short and kind of compact. So here are some not so good examples. And obviously I took it and did extremes with it. I want 1 million social media followers in a month. Not going to happen. I want to double my revenue in the first week of a new campaign. Probably not going to happen. And the other part is missing specifics. It's really missing attainable goals. Another poor marketing goal, achieve 100% conversion rate on all website visitors. That means everybody that comes to my website is going to fill out a form, buy something from me, or download something. That's unrealistic. Here's a good one. I want to rank #1 on Google for all the relevant keywords in a month. Not going to happen. I want 10,000 customer reviews in a week. Not going to happen. Well, depending on what kind of business you're in, how many followers you got, and you really are a disaster, you might get reviews, but I don't think it's going to be 10,000. But again, just contrasting the structure of these is important. And then also understanding that these goals actually go back to this early analysis of the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats of your business. To me, this is like the most important exercise of doing this, because when you do these steps, you're going to be like, oh, well, this is an opportunity I have that I can increase this or do this. Here's a weakness I want to improve. You want to move as much as possible to the strengths column and the other things that you've done column as much as possible. Now, what happens is you continue to grow the business and it just continue to grow, and this process goes over and over. And then the goals themselves will change. But each of these goals you set, and I recommend three. Three goals is more than enough to try to achieve. And that's why in here I only have place for three. But again, thinking about the priority of the SWOT analysis of things that can help your business grow and improve, and setting those goals in a smart fashion. So once we define the goal, what do we use to measure them? And so that's when you have what's called key performance indicators. So key performance indicators are simply a way to quantify and measure the performance over time of a specific objective or goal. That's all that it is. Fancy wording. What it does is it provides targets for you and your team to shoot for. It provides milestones to gauge the process of your goal achievement. And it also allows insights that help people across your organization make better decisions about the company in general if you have staff and other people involved. So depending on what your marketing goals are, will dictate the types of key performance indicators you would have. So qualified leads, new customers, how much does it cost me to acquire a new customer? And you get that by the budget that's coming up in a minute. How much budget, how much time does it take me in a month? And how many customers did the guy get in that month? I take that dollar amount, and I'm gonna talk to you about how to determine dollar amount on hours, and divide it by the number of customers. And that says that let's say that it costs you $500 in time and resources in 1 month, and you got 5 customers. That lets you know it takes about $100 per customer to acquire a new customer. That also helps you well, we'll get to that in a minute. Maybe if they're existing customers, I want them to upsell. I want to send them product suggestions. We talked about that in the customer buying journey, the post-purchase, being able to send them ideas of what other people bought, what people might like. Social media engagement, likes, follows, shares, impressions is a measurable performance indicator. Overall order value, how much people are buying when they do order. What's the total of revenue that I'm selling in a month's period or in a time frame? Or I can even break it down as how much money am I making on a particular product or service at any given time. So let's go back. Oh, where'd it go? Come back. Let's go back here, and let's look at these goals here, and I'll give some examples of what KPIs might be. So I want to increase website traffic by 20% in 3 months. Well, what I measure? So I'm a measure on using my analytics. I'm going to measure new visitors, return visitors, bounce rate, and sources that they came from. Now that's more information that's needed, but that's what I want to measure to understand if I'm able to increase that traffic by 20% in 3 months. If I want to grow my social media followers, say on Facebook, so the KPIs are how many views, how many impressions, how many likes, shares did I get? Because it takes so many impressions for people to even see it before they may like it. And all that data can come together to help you. Generate 10 new customer reviews on Google in 30 days. So how many requests does it take to get 10 people to actually leave a review? Because chances are you're not going to send 10 review requests and get all 10. You may have to send 30. You may need to send 20. You may need to send those. Oh, how many times did you have to send that? Could be another KPI. So again, understanding what your goals are and what the smaller measurable key performance indicators that you want to use to be able to measure that in the 3 months, in the 60 days, in the 30-day time that your marketing goal is set. So now we're going to move into our budget. So obviously we're in financial education series course now, and the marketing budget outlines all the money and time that a business intends to spend on marketing related projects over a period of time, over a quarter, over a year. Marketing budgets can include expenses such as paid advertising, sponsored web content, staff, blog creations, marketing automation software. So begin thinking about time and money, because both of those are measurable. So on the marketing budget, as you notice, worksheet or the page for that, I just put the item and the budget. So we're going to discuss time budget versus money budget. So if one of your goals or your overall marketing, this is outside of even the goals, this is just your overall marketing, understanding your marketing budget. So we need to update websites. So what does that look like? I need to add a new customer portfolio. I need to add a new gallery item. I need a completed project. I need to add a new blog post. Well, how much, if I'm doing that myself, how much time does that take me to complete? So on the worksheet, I'm gonna go web, update, blog post, new client project. So I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna say, okay, that total process took me 5 hours, and I'm gonna leave it at the time. So for the next one, content creation. All right, social media, Facebook, and Instagram. Now I like to do 30-day increments. All right, if I'm doing it myself, it took me 6 hours in that 30 days. And keep going down. If I'm doing paid advertising, whether it's Google or Facebook, well, how much am I spending? If I'm doing print ads, in newsletters and journals and magazines and church bulletins, what is that costing me? And you're going to put that either, as a cost amount. If I'm doing direct mail, if I'm writing and distributing press releases or having someone do those for me, that's a line item and a budget amount. If I'm using a social media management tool, well, what does Hootsuite cost me every month? Maybe $30. I pay for ChatGPT. That's $20. So I'm going to go down. My software. So Canva, I forget what it cost me. It's something a month per month. And then I've got MailChimp. It's something a month. So as you're seeing, what you're doing is you're making your marketing budget, because what you're wanting to do is to begin to understand the time and resources and money that it takes to do all these things that are under your marketing. Networking fees, okay, my chamber membership is $700 a year. I want to build into my budget where I can sponsor some of the things at my kids' school. Well, how much do I want to spend on that? So you're going to map out as much as you can of all of the things that go into implementing your marketing. Now, here's a little tip, just a little tip, as it relates to understanding the value of the hours. So we all should know what our minimum hourly rate is, what it costs us to do the work we do in related to the field that we're in. So if someone calls me up and says, hey, I need you to do a logo project, how many hours do you think it'll be? I get a little more information. I'm like, okay, 6 hours, hourly rate 150. I do the math and send it out to them. Now, I know that the 150 hourly rate covers expenses for the business overall, my time, because if I'm spending 5 hours on a logo, that is 5 hours that I'm generating revenue. So I want to make sure the revenue that I'm generating is profitable for the business. Another flip side of way of thinking about this, if I'm spending if I know my hourly rate's about $100, and I know I'm spending 5 hours a month doing a web update, that's about $500. So that's actually, I'm spending about 500 bucks, because in those 5 hours, I could be doing something else on my business. I could be doing something else to generate sales and customers, and I could outsource this, or I could pay someone to do this. Well, this lets me know what I'm about, what I'm costing me already. Same with social media. Well, that's about 600, right? So right there, you're spending, figuratively, $1,100 worth of your time to do web updates and social media per month. Is that something you can outsource? Is that somewhere you can hire someone to do? Is that something that you could have someone charge you less to get done, that then allows you to go focus on other areas of your business, even in the marketing, to generate money? So understanding your hourly rate is a very important thing to understand when it comes to estimating products and services. This, even if you're in an online retail business, there's still understanding what your time is worth. what your hourly rate is so that you can begin understanding where you're spending your time and what that costs you. So next, what tools are we going to use to achieve those goals that we have set in place? So I broke it down in like sections, like so traditional marketing, networking events, doing some flyers and posters, doing some postcards, doing some handwritten letters, something of that nature. I like to look at websites, so I'm gonna do blog and news. I'm gonna start posting case studies. I'm gonna update featured clients. I'm gonna look at adding keyword related blog. We talked about that for search engine optimization. And then I've decided I'm going to use Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And then, so these are the tools that I'm going to use. And then other, you may want to list some other things there. But referring back to the workbook here, I kept it simple. And here is, so let's say website. Based on my goals, one blog post, one project update per month. Facebook, or e-newsletter, network events. So I'm mapping out the tools and methods that I'm going to do to help me achieve the goals that I want to achieve based on the steps that we did previously. And then now that I understand the tools, I begin to schedule. So I hope that everyone's using a schedule system. I hope that you set appointments. I hope you set your tasks. Please use a scheduling system. If you're not using a scheduling system that is calendar based, that is tied to your phone, you're you're wasting time, you're wasting resources, you're going to miss things. So to me, scheduling is one of the most important things in time management, in task production. Everything else is getting things on a calendar. Have to be crazy overdone, but it lets you know what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve. One of the things I do on my calendar a couple months in advance, I go block out periods of days that I put a time entry on one of the two businesses, and I know that time I'm going to save to work on my business, on my marketing, on my sales, on my whatever it is I need to do. Sometimes I'll schedule an appointment on top of that, but at least I know a couple times during the month I have scheduled time to market my company. Another way I do it when it comes to, say, for example, social media is, so I manage 3 or 4 social media client projects. So I may put a calendar entry on a Monday that says a social media client. And that lets me know that sometime during that week, I'm going to and post 1, 2, up to 3 weeks worth of content. I do about 2 posts a week, so 6, 7 posts. So I have a week to create them. And I know I'm scheduling them ahead of time for here. So I take that one calendar entry there and I copy and paste it this 3rd week, because I know I've still got content going out this week, but I need to begin planning for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that covers me there. And so I have the web design company and I have the training company. So this next week, because I tried to do them all at once, I tried to do all social media and I realized I was discounting myself and I was burnt out, I was tired. So I began to separate them. So this next week, I focus on the web design company, working on social media for it, content marketing for it. And I'll do 2 to 3 weeks. Take that, copy and paste it, move it down. And then the third one is Orhan Macmillan, the training and educating. So I'm mapping out, and I know I got a whole week to do it, which makes it a little more flexible to me. Sometimes I get it done on a Wednesday. Sometimes I get it done on Friday. Sometimes I get it done on a Tuesday. Sometimes I miss it by maybe having a heavy schedule and I just bump it to this Monday. But I try to keep those things scheduled because if they're there, I know I have a better chance of accomplishing them. And so if you're looking at marketing goals and e-newsletters and websites, and so if you're going back here and looking at these things you're trying to do, you want to make sure and have these mapped out on your work calendar. You don't need them any separate. You can do color coding or something like that. Blue on my calendar is company work. Green is client appointments and work appointments. So I can look at my calendar and see, but scheduling is a huge, huge part of that. So now that we understand all this stuff we want to do, let's begin mapping the content. What are we going to do month to month? So I know that based on my goals, I want one case study per month. I want one new blog article. I want to issue one newsletter. I want to share one online resource that maybe someone else has posted. And I want to feature one of my services. And that could be on social, email, whatever. So I know that each month I want to post these 5 things. And I repeat that over and over. And so I'm mapping out the content. Now, you could even go even further on this and begin saying, okay, so we launched the LS website. And this article for this month, I want to do new web, I'm sorry, custom web design versus DIY. The newsletter, okay, I want to put SSS, the new website we launched. I want to part of the blog article and a call to action, some sort of call to action. Okay, online resource, that usually I find those as I go. And then what service? Okay, so if we're doing this and I want to feature custom web design. Now, I don't go over 2 or 3 months. I like doing that. But again, it's allowing me to understand specifically targets that I want to focus on. Now, if you're in a seasonal business, obviously October, November, December, probably your biggest months out of the year for holiday promotions and sales. You definitely want to know what you're doing ahead of time. You want to map this out before. But again, it allows you a place to go. It's going to be in your calendar. It's going to be on this document. You may take this and begin using this somewhere else on Google Docs, whatever. But going through these exercises and these processes are going to help you be more efficient, more effective, put out a lot more, do more quantity, be more effective with it. And it gives you a better idea of what you're trying to do, an overall overview. And the other thing is, if and when the time comes that you bring someone on, this is the roadmap to get them to do the work you want in your digital marketing or your marketing efforts. This is the job description. You'll know that you did these. This is what you want them to do. Because there's a lot of different ways that this plays an important part for you and your business. So now that we've done all that, it's time to start. It's time to put it to work. Start doing the legwork, building the content, writing the content, posting it, doing the newsletters, whatever those goals were, it's time to put the plan into action. So we're tracking, we're 30, 60 day, whatever it was that we were doing, 30, 60, 90 day, whatever it was that we were set on our goals, we're doing those. And so then, depending on what that time frame was, then we get to review it. We look at the KPIs, we look at the results of what we've tracked, we look at the results of the posting schedule we did, and then we make decisions. What can be done again? What didn't work? What worked really well? What do I want to keep doing? What do I want to toss to the road? Or what do I want to modify and try again? So again, the results and the analytics and the assessment of all those steps really helps you understand how you're achieving the things that you're trying to. And you're going to keep doing this. As long as you have a business, as long as you're in operating business, you're going to continue to do this. This hopefully will become embedded in your operating plan and how you run your business. So just shortly here, this is how simple a KPI sheet can be. So I just created this for myself the other day. I hadn't been doing them in a while, and I'm starting doing them. So I know these are the major areas of things I need to accomplish in a month. Blog posts, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, e-newsletter, web updates, client calls, cold calls. And so I'm going to be able to track. I'm going to set the goals of what I want. I know I want 1. I know I want 4, 1, 2, 2. I need to make 10 client calls a month, and let's try 10 new. And I say cold calls, that's just the old term phrase. But I want to introduce myself to 10 people that don't know who I am. And then as I go through the month, I'm then going to track how many did I do. I know I get this done. But the question comes in maybe over here, but I might say what I'm trying to do and what I actually achieve. You can use, I used to, for my company, up to 2020, these are the major areas of production that we tracked. Number of logos we did, graphic design projects we did, and web launches. And I have, I mean, seriously, 8 years of information. We tracked search engine optimization, but what it gave me a chance of doing was seeing what we did, seeing if there were dips in product and production work development and things, but it just made me feel better in understanding what we were accomplishing. I also did it with sales, new sales, old sales, closed sales, all of those type of things. So again, the KPI thing can transfer over into many areas of your business, but specifically today we're talking about as it relates to marketing. All right, so let's see. Finished a little early today. We're wrapped up a little faster. Are there any questions that you might have, or any specifics or any thoughts that this may have brought to you that you may want to explain a little bit further or ask for a little bit more information? Well, I encourage everyone to do it. The people that I work with, we're going to be taking this and taking it, you know, we're going to be able to diving into this a little bit more. If y'all are working on this with your mentors or whatever, and if you've got some questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask. But definitely utilize the resources, take a little time. And I understand that everyone is busy, so do it in small pieces. Just, you know, set one goal, set one schedule, set one content thing, just one. Get it on your calendar one time. And then I promise you, you're going to keep doing it, and you're going to feel more confident, and you're going to generate more money. You're going to generate more revenue from doing this, and it's going to encourage you to do more. Okay. Well, again, it's been a pleasure. We're going to pick back up with our marketing clinics in December. And I think I'm going to take the recommendation of one of the participants in this, and we're going to take little sections and kind of talk about them as needed, plus anything else that comes up as well. But again, y'all have a great evening. Thank you for your attentiveness and participation over these last 4 sessions. And everyone have a wonderful evening.
Thank you
so much, everyone.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye,
All right. You have a great one.
You'll have a good evening. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks.